Can a small role really have a big impact on a film career? Considering everything Rob Delaney has been up to since appearing in Deadpool 2, the answer is most definitely yes. Before Deadpool 2, actor Rob Delaney was mostly unknown outside of the British TV circuit, other than the attention he received for his hilarious X account, that is. Yet Ryan Reynolds offered him the role of unpowered hero Peter without an audition.
I just saw the ad and thought it looked fun.
You're in.
That's because Reynolds was familiar with his work on the hit UK series Catastrophe, where he played an American executive who has a whirlwind romance with an Irish schoolteacher while on a business trip in London. Delaney accepted Reynolds' offer on the spot without even reading the script. In a 2018 appearance on The Big Narsty Show, Delaney talked about their initial phone call.
He said, hey, do you want to be in Deadpool 2? And I was like, yup. He's like, do you want to know what you're doing? I'm like, I don't give a
According to Delaney, he didn't care what the role was or how small a part it might be. Saying that the first movie's quality and success was enough reason for him to jump on board, he explained,
like, yeah, man, I don't care if Deadpool 2's story is me, just I'd curl up in a toilet and on me for 2 hours.
Delaney wound up with a slightly better role than that, and he was almost certainly right to take the job without asking. In the end, the movie was a smash hit on par with the first one and was a game changer for Delaney's career. Delaney's movie career was relatively paltry before Deadpool 2. In 2007's Wild Girls Gone, he played Whipped Cream Ass Man. In 2014's Life After Beth, he played an unnamed newsman. But after playing the role of the unapologetically ordinary Peter in Deadpool 2, Delaney's found himself fielding a slew of movie offers. Since 2018, Delaney has worked on more than 15 films, including Matthew Vaughn's 2024 action comedy Argylle, starring Henry Cavill and Bryce Dallas Howard. He also appeared in big-budget films like Wrath of Man and the live-action Tom and Jerry movie. And he's not slowing down. In addition to the Deadpool threequel, where he's making an unexpected appearance following the death of his character in Deadpool 2, he'll also be seen in Bank of Dave 2: The Lone Ranger in 2025. Without his role in Deadpool 2, Delaney is unlikely to have appeared in most, if not all, the films that have since come his way. But thanks to those projects, he's been able to star alongside such Hollywood heavyweights as Nicole Kidman, Margot Robbie, and Charlize Theron in Bombshell, and Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Though he'd appeared on quite a few shows before joining Fox's X Universe in 2018, his career really exploded afterward. After Catastrophe ended, Delaney began starring in bigger and bigger shows. At first, it was a lot of voice work, with roles in Meet the Meerkats and Fairfax. But in 2022, he took a major role in the Amazon Prime series The Man Who Fell to Earth, a TV reboot of the classic Bowie film. In 2023, Delaney was cast in an episode of the wildly popular sci-fi anthology Black Mirror, alongside Annie Murphy, Salma Hayek, Michael Cera, and Himesh Patel. He also made a pair of appearances on The Power, the Amazon Prime series starring Toni Collette, Halle Bush, and Toheeb Jamo. Delaney has also graced our ears with a plethora of animated voice roles on series including Invincible, Birdgirl, and Fairfax. In 2024, he undertook a recurring role on the Freevee original, Dinner with the Parents. For those less familiar with Rob Delaney's life and career, the Deadpool 2 actor hails from Boston and attended New York University. But in 2014, Delaney and his wife left the US for the United Kingdom, where they built a life and family.
We literally put our stuff in storage, and I told my wife, we'll probably be there 6 months. They're gonna cancel it immediately, and then they didn't.
Delaney became a successful actor in England, often appearing on comedy programs and panel shows like 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, Would I Lie to You, and 2016's The Big Fat Quiz of the Year, all of which are UK favorites. But despite the success of Catastrophe in the UK, Delaney never really had a lot of success stateside.
Not in this lifetime.
All of that changed with Deadpool 2. For the first time, Delaney was a star in America, appearing in a major Hollywood summer blockbuster. The comedian and actor suddenly found himself running the American publicity gauntlet on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Late Night with Seth Meyers, and The Late Late Show with James Corden. These days, Delaney's getting much bigger work. He's getting offers for more franchise films, including the role of Agent Loeb in Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, which put him alongside action superstars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jason Statham, and Idris Elba, not to mention Academy Award winner Helen Mirren. And that wasn't the end of Delaney's intro to the franchise universe, because the biggest was still to come.
Wow, $5,000 for an ugly little porcelain kid. I didn't get half that for selling my real kids.
After joining the Home Alone reboot on Disney Plus, Home Sweet Home Alone, Delaney took a smaller role as a JSOC agent in Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. In May 2023, he was back at it again with Deadpool and Wolverine. And it's unlikely he's done with blockbusters either, as producers seem to love the effortless charm he brings to just about any role. When Delaney was first cast in Deadpool 2, many fans likely scratched their heads at what probably seemed like a left-field casting choice. After all, The actor wasn't a big name and didn't seem like the kind of guy who'd be cast in a raunchy, big-budget superhero adventure full of over-the-top characters. Delaney plays Peter, an ordinary man recruited to a superhero team despite having no powers and a naive, happy-go-lucky attitude. Thanks to Delaney's performance, though, both Peter and Delaney earned a cult following.
I don't know much about this Cable fella, but I guarantee he hasn't killed as many people as Melanoma has.
The studio must have quickly figured out how popular the character would become, because their social media team started a fake Twitter account for Peter that became the buzz of the internet. Things went viral quickly. Before long, there were fan-made posters and cosplays of Delaney's character that put him in the spotlight over the title character, and that was before the film was even released. When Deadpool 2 finally hit theaters, audiences weren't disappointed, as Peter was a highlight of the film. It wasn't just his outsider status that made him so lovable. In large part due to Delaney's scene-stealing performance, fans continued to rally around the character, who proved so beloved that there was even brief buzz that he might get his own spin-off. While Ryan Reynolds even joked that a follow-up might be titled Deadpool 3 Absolutely Peter. By all accounts, Delaney isn't after fame and fortune, preferring to live a quiet, easy life. Yet his delayed stardom may have actually been a good thing for him. In a 2021 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Delaney said, "My success came a little later. Nobody knew my name before I turned 39, and I think that's great." His increased profile didn't just improve his life financially, though. The later-in-life prosperity also gave him perspective when it came to his personal life. Delaney explained, "Now it's about slow and steady and building a career that allows me to do what I have learned. Very painfully is the most important thing, which is to be a dad." For Delaney, there's nothing more important than being a father, a role that became even more important to him after losing his 2-year-old son to cancer in early 2018. He admitted, though, that once he's an empty nester, he'll take any offer that comes his way, saying, "The goal is to turn on the TV and be like, oh, him again? So it's quality now, quantity later." Instead of becoming a spoiled, self-centered star with the release of Deadpool 2, Delaney found perspective from his newfound fame. Speaking to Vulture in 2019, he said, "Not long ago, it was me taking the bus to go do stand-up while my wife was the breadwinner teaching at a public school. The sudden attention just made him laugh at the ludicrousness of it all." He admitted, "It happened so quickly for us as to be silly. Now I know it's just a joke and a game. The more successful I've gotten, the more I've been like, oh god, this is so rotten what's happening." Bigger fame, however, hasn't made him hate success, and he's managed to find life lessons that keep him down to earth. Now he takes life by the horns, telling Vulture, "Even the people I love most are gonna die, and they could die before me, which is just since I know that could happen today, I could slip and bang my head and that would be it. I want to make stuff that is a small, positive contribution." Some Hollywood celebrities prefer to keep their politics to themselves, while others are loud and outspoken. Delaney wears his politics on his sleeve, and since he became a star, it's become even more important to him to use his platform to promote the causes he cares about. As a UK resident, that often means supporting the country's Social Democrat Labour Party, even campaigning on behalf of former party leader Jeremy Corbyn. Some of his support for the left-wing political party is the result of dealing with his young son's cancer diagnosis. Having grown up in the United States, he's seen firsthand the stark differences between American and UK healthcare.
As far as I can tell, the NHS is basically the pinnacle of human achievement.
He told Esquire, "What was amazing about having a child get very sick here, and then sicker, and then disabled, and then ultimately die, is that as nightmarish as that was and still is, it didn't bankrupt us. Nor did we have the fear while he was sick that it would, which so many Americans have." Delaney has also used his larger platform and name recognition to advocate for reform in the film industry. In 2023, he was a vocal ally of the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes in Hollywood, and helped rally support half the world away in England. Despite the love for the character among fans and the rest of the cast, it wasn't a sure thing that Delaney would be returning for a third Deadpool movie. After all, Peter's role was a minor one and seemed more like a one-note gag about an ordinary man thrust into the middle of a superhero team. But the film's post-credits scene made it clear that it was at least a possibility, as after Peter's horrific death early in the film, a post-credits stinger sees Wade Wilson using time travel to bring both his girlfriend, played by Marina Baccarin, and Peter back from the dead.
Just walk away!
But we're X-Force!
No, we're not. There's no X-Force.
All right, well, this has been pretty scary.
Either way, it was to everyone's delight when Delaney was announced to be coming back, and many fans rejoiced when he turned up in the film's first trailer. Personally, we're calling for him to headline his own MCU adventure. No matter what the role, though, we can all agree that the world needs more Rob Delaney.